next, let's talk about another method to know the temperature of your UniFi switches. So here I'm using the controller. Now let's take this Aggregation Pro as an example. You can go click your device and then here go to device tab and expand manage and scroll down. You can find the download device info. Click. So before I download it, let me show you another window, which is the SSH session. So let's compare the two readings side by side. Let me launch a terminal and make the text bigger, and let me run SSH. This is the correct IP address. Input my password. Okay, this is the USW-Pro-Aggregation. Let me type the command. SWCTRL env show. Okay, I have the temperature here. Let me click the button here. Download device info. Download. Okay, so as you can see, Firefox support the download format right away. So you can use other open source tools, but here I'm going to use Firefox. So the file format is JSON. If you are a developer, you should know this format very well. Basically, it's just a simple plain file, and it's easy to be consumed by computer software. Okay, let me open it. Okay, so now it's opened by Firefox. As you can see, there are several built-in tabs here. Let's first take a look at the raw data. As you can see, it's just a plain text file, right? But make it easier to read, you can click the JSON tab, so it will be displayed as a tree format. And let me do a filtering, because now we are only interested in the temperature reading. So let me search temperature. Okay, so it's already filtered, and then let me expand all. Okay, so now you can see all the temperature values in the downloaded device information. Okay, so the first one you can see is a general. Maybe I can make the zoom factor bigger. You can see it better. Okay. The first one is general temperature is 44. It doesn't say unit to measure, but keep in mind that's Celsius. If you look at the left side, you can see, okay, 44. So they match, right? So they are talking about the same thing. Then, but if you look down here, there are many. For this case, totally 14 SFP temperature, because I'm looking at the aggregation switch. So basically it doesn't have RJ45 part. All the parts are either SFP plus or SFP28. So there are totally 28 SFP plus. So I believe that's why here you see 14 SFP temperature items. Maybe for each one, for each pair of SFP plus, there is supposed to be a temperature sensor. That's why I see 14 SFP measures here. But some of them are showing 0. I believe the reason is basically there's no sensor there. It's just a placeholder. But for the ones which do show measure, so let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So totally 6 temperature measure, right? But if you look at the left side, it only shows 4 temperature and 1 Mach 1 temperature. So they don't match exactly. So that's why I want to show you this method, because it does report something which you cannot see in the SSH session, right? But let's compare them in more details, right? So the first one, about 62. Do we have 62 here? No. So basically this is a mysterious one, right? And move down, it's 53. Yeah, we don't have a 53 here, right? Here, this one, 45. Yeah, we have one, it's about 44, maybe that's the same one. Here we have one which is 41 or 40. Yes, we have one. Here we have one which is 36. Yes, we have a 36. We have another 36, 37. I'm not sure which one it is. Maybe it's not in the left side. Yeah, so I don't have any document to map the SSH session readings with the device downloaded information. So basically, but we can assume basically they should reflect the same information, but in real world they don't, right? So that's the example of aggregation pro. So next, let me show you another example, which is the 24 port pro switches. Now let's take a look at the USW-Pro-24. So in the right side, I have the UniFi controller. Let me click this switch and go to Device, Manage, Download Device Info, and similarly in the left side, I want to show you the SSH session. Let me log on to that switch and type the command swctrlenv show, click, and here I click open with Firefox. Okay, so now we almost take the measure at the same time, right? So in the left side, as you can see, we only have one reading, which is 66. And it seems it doesn't have any sensor at the port level. It only have a general temperature, and I guess it's somewhere close to the motherboard, maybe, but it doesn't seem to be close to any port, including the RJ45 or SFP plus port. And in the right side, let me filter on temperature reading, and I click expand all. Expand all. Okay, so now you can see it has much less entries if you compare to the Aggregation Pro, because it simply doesn't have too many sensors. In fact, it only has one, right? So see here, yes, it correctly displayed the general temperature, which is 66, the same here. But if you look down, it does show you the part table value, and because 24 and 25, they are supposed to be the SFP plus part. They are not the RJ45 part, right? So basically the device info file does have placeholders for those part for temperature reading, but it simply returns 0 because the hardware simply doesn't come with temperature sensor, right? Too bad, but at least interestingly, as we can see, there are placeholders here. I hope in next version, or I don't know, because I don't have the enterprise version of this switch, maybe in the more expensive version there are sensors, but unfortunately for this pro version it only has one sensor, which is the general temperature, right? Okay, so now basically this video is very short. I just want to show you my second method to find out what's the current temperature for my Ubiquiti UniFi switches. In most cases, the information you get should match the SSH session, but sometimes it has some interesting differences, and sometimes it even has some readings which doesn't show up in the SSH command line. Okay, thanks for watching.